Alright, so welcome to the stream everyone. Today we are going to take a look at BTC USD. I'm also going to take a look at a couple of alts. The ones I'm most interested in right now are obviously the ones we have in my setups in the Nest Club. I'm going to take a look at specifically Monero, Waves, Engine, Gold, Silver, Euro versus USD, and the Pound versus USD. So first of all, the king of crypto, right? The king of all markets, and right now the king of the bears. I don't know. The king of the bulls. I'm not sure, guys. I don't know. Let's see. We have the weekly close coming up shortly. When? I have no idea. In 6 hours. Great, so 6 hours. And the monthly, when is the monthly closing? In 2 days. I like this on TradingView. They added this, when, how long till the actual close, because that means I don't have to watch my watch and actually do the math myself. So very nice, good job TradingView. I hope that's a new thing, or else I've been doing this for almost 4 years, so I hope it's new, or else I'm feeling pretty stupid. All right, guys, perfect. Hello everyone. Hello Cocos, Erwin van de Velde, I think the name is, and Soap, Carrie Shaw, and Cocos again. Hello Cocos again. So the weekly, the monthly. We are taking a look at the monthly. So we're closing the monthly in 2 days. Where do we want to close the monthly close to be bullish? Well, I like for it to close up here, but that's not gonna happen, right? But all right. So from a realistic point of view, I think this is good. If we get a daily close up here, that's all right. As long as we are, closing the monthly above the 55 exponential, this green one, I'm okay, right? And if we close the monthly above the 0.602, this one, the midpoint of the RLC being drawn from this top to this low, or is it from this low to this top? I don't know. I think it's from this top to this low. Let's see. Never mind. Of course it's from, from past price action to the most recent price action, obviously. So yeah, if we close the monthly up here, I think that I like that. I would very much like that. If we close the monthly down, below here, I'd be a little bit more bearish. If we for some reason just completely dump in the next 2 days and close below the 55 EMA, that would be very bearish, obviously. And I think on the higher time frames, we are most likely, moving like this down to the 3K area, to be honest. So from a higher time frame perspective, we did, have a very good, some very good buy action right here, with the fact that we have this wick shows that, right? So on a monthly time frame, I'm not overly bearish and I'm not overly bullish. Now this midpoint of the RLC, the 0.602, will translate very well over to the daily, and I will go down into the daily later. So first of all, I just want to cover everything I want to say on the monthly, and the monthly is very simple, right? I'm taking it one level at a time, and we have the 21 EMA on the daily here. I don't think that's exact right now. Let's move it down to the 21 EMA on the daily. So that would obviously be the the best case scenario is for the monthly to close above the RLC, and considering that the 21 EMA on the daily is so close to the RLC, I would like to see start seeing closes above this red box resistance right here. Until we get that, I'm not gonna be super bullish, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna be, like, we are seeing the monthly isn't looking too bad, but as long as we don't see closes above this area, I'm not gonna be overly bullish on the high, going forward, right? I'm taking it one level at a time, and right now we are between the midpoint of the RLC and this the high of the RLC, being confident with this middle area of the red box resistance. And like I said, considering that the 21 EMA on the daily is so close to this area, I'm gonna take that into consideration, and I want to see, for that extra confirmation, that extra strength, I want to see closes above the 21 EMA on the daily. And going into the weekly, what do we see on the weekly candle here. It is going to close in 6 hours, 5 hours, 47 minutes and 10 seconds to be exact. So a lot can happen in 6 hours. I mean, if you have been in crypto for some time, like I have, you know that anything can happen. Anything can happen, and this candle right here, this daily candle right here, is evident of such crazy price action. Let's go down to the 4 hour. You can see that even on the 4 hour scale, you have this massive drop, right? So anything can happen in a weekly candle. Anything can happen in 6 hours. So let's just say that we can only look at current price action. Like as traders, we can only look at the current price action and make, at least for me, that's how I'm trading, right? I'm looking at the most current price action. I'm trying to make predictions, you know, high probability predictions for where price is going to move in the very near term future, right? So let's say that the weekly closes right here. Now, a lot of people are looking at the lower time frames right now, and they're saying like, oh well, we're going to dump, right? We're in a massive downtrend, and it's just looking very, very bad. But you gotta you gotta look at this from like a trader's viewpoint, right? So you gotta take into account the bullish case and the bearish case. You can't really, you know, get all hyped up about you know, the fact that Bitcoin is a very, you know, awesome technology, and I definitely see Bitcoin having a huge impact on the world of economics and basically the world as we know it, right? But that's like I'm thinking 10 to 20 years in the future. Right now we're going to take a look at, you know, current price action, what's happening right now, and where do we want the weekly to close to be long, where do we want the weekly to close to be short. Now, to be a bull, you want the weekly to close, I think, where we are right now, because we have this fake out of the 200 simple, this white line on the weekly. This is a clear fake out with a lot of buy action right here. So and this purple here is the 200 exponential. So we have both the 200 SMA and the 200 EMA right in the RLC, with the 200 EMA coming in right in the middle of the midpoint of the RLC. And I will show you on the daily why I think this area is so important. So if we get a weekly close here, we have a bounce of the 200 SMA with a fake out. We have a move above the 200 EMA. If we get a weekly close here, we might see a move back down to the 200 simple, right? But most likely, I think we might actually see a bounce there, because right now I think I'm liking the weekly. So if we close the weekly here, good. If we close the weekly here, super, super, super good, but that's probably not gonna happen, right? If we close the weekly below the midpoint of the RLC, below the 200 EMA and the 200 simple, I will start to pivot more to the, you know, potential high time frame bearish view, right? And if we move down below the RLC, that's going to be like, yeah, that's bad, right? And I'm not sure that this area will hold for another touch, and we are then most likely going to have a big move down towards 3K. Now we're not there yet. I'm just giving you some options right here, and as you're seeing here, I mean, what I'm talking about is either a like 50% move down or a potential 25% move up. So in my opinion, the potential downside is at the moment, like the trade to the downside right now is definitely more dangerous than the move to the upside. So you really gotta have, you're really gonna prepare for a potential drop, because the drop can be massive, right? Massive. A 50% drop from current prices is insane, right? Especially when we had a crazy drop of almost to current prices 40%, and this one 60%, guys. So be careful, right? The downside potential on Bitcoin, I repeat, the downside potential on Bitcoin is huge. That's why you have to manage your risk very, very carefully, right? The upside potential on the longer term is obviously super, super massive when you watch it for, like, you know, on a 5 to 10 years perspective, right? But why I think that it's more likely that if we go down, we'll go down much further than up, because of the fact that we have a lot of potential resistance in the way to the upside, but we don't have a lot of resistance, support on the way to the downside. The levels to the upside are much stronger, in my opinion, than the levels to the downside. So be careful, be very, very careful. So the weekly, right? Now, how would you prepare for a move like this? Well, if you are in 100% BTC, you probably shouldn't, because we have this very, very strong resistance above, and we have, not a lot of supports on the way down. So I'm gonna give you a couple of, areas where you could put your potential stop loss, or where you might, where I'm just gonna tell you how I approach BTC, and you can do your own. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor, so you have to do all your own decisions, right? And your money is your money alone, and it's all, whatever you want to do with it. And I'm just saying, be careful, because crypto can be very, very volatile and extremely risky. You gotta really protect your capital if you want to keep it. And as a trader, your number one goal is to keep your capital. Making money is just a bonus of, trading like a casino with the odds on your side and having an edge, and actually figuring out the whole risk management idea of trading. So on a daily perspective right here, like if you guys have watched my other streams, you know that I am waiting for a break of the 21 EMA daily. It's not looking good, guys. It's not looking good. It did look pretty good when we were up here. If we get a, if we were to get a breakout, and I would long the retest for take profit at the 55 exponential, this green one right here, right? So the idea is still valid, because I will show you why. Let's pivot over to the 4 hour, and I show you why I think that it's still valid. Let's remove the moving averages, because I'm right now not really interested in the moving averages on the 4 hour. The only thing I'm looking at on the 4 hour is the market structure, and are we bullish or are we bearish on looking at price action. And how do you determine that, right? You determine that by looking at, do we have lower lows and lower highs? Here we have a low, a lower low, and you can kind of see that we have a high and a lower high. It's not perfect, but as you can see, trend is down. Very simple, and it's pretty very simple to actually identify a downtrend with looking for low lows and lower highs. Now, what do we have here? We have a higher low. What does that mean? It means we have a potential break in market structure, right? So as soon as we had the potential break in market structure, we got this move, right? We got this move for a higher high, a higher low. This isn't really, a lot of people, I get the question a lot, like, do you have to like count in the wicks, because then you would have the low down here. But I'm looking at the overall structure, and if it looks good, it's probably gonna work out good, right? So I'm gonna assume that this is the swing high, right? I'm gonna ignore this wick exactly like I'm ignoring this wick for this low to this low, right? So is this a higher high? Well, yeah, I would say that, because you have a lot more price action above this high. So I would say that the general structure is upwards on this one. So as soon as we don't break this structure with a high, and it's arguably the higher high, I would like to call it a higher high, right? And this low and the potential lower low here. So if we break this structure by breaking this previous range high, now hopefully acting as support, if we start to see a lower low here, bearish retest, continuation downwards, that's gonna be a bearish break in market structure. So right now this move is a potential bearish break in market structure, just like this move was a potential bullish break in market structure. Now, how is this bullish break in market structure confirmed? Well, it's confirmed when you have the higher high and the higher low with this bounce, right? That's confirmation of this trend turning into a a definite basically a change in trend on the lower time frames. Now it needs to be confirmed on the daily too. And by looking at the daily, we need to see this type of move, right? So I want to see, you know, a low, lower low, I'm sorry, a low, higher low, and you know, the high and a higher high. So this could still be a bullish market structure, right? But we need to bounce here. If we fail to bounce on this area, being the let's say 5.9k area, if we fail to bounce that, we are back into bearish territory, in my opinion. We're still in the RLC, so very likely that we will bounce, right? So on the higher time frames, the longer term perspective, it's still likely that we will bounce. But I'm looking at the lower time frames to get an idea of the potential trend shift, right? So that's the thing I'm looking at right now. Below previous range high, I'm starting to be bearish. Below this area, I'm starting to be very bearish, obviously. Above the 21 EMA and the daily, or this high, I will start to be bullish on the medium to higher time frames. First target would be this area, confluent with the, I think it's the 55 EMA on the daily. Yeah, right here. So somewhere in this region, right, would be might take profits for a move like this, right? Something like this for a 15 to 20% move. And to the downside, well, this one is very easy. To the upside, to the downside is a bit trickier. If we lose that one, we'll most likely come down and test range EQ for a 8 to 9% move, and then continue down to range low, right, for a 18% move. And if we fail to hold range low, I would look for a bearish retest of this area down to the 3k area, right? So that's my outlook on BTC. I don't want to bore you too much on all details, but that's basically my outlook on BTC going forward. For full disclosure, I'm about, I think, wow, I don't know, 7 or 8% BTC right now, and the rest in USD. And the reason why I'm still have a lot in fiat, and why I haven't entered Bitcoin right now, because I want to see this trend take out heavy resistance, and this is heavy resistance. So when you have an uptrend and you take out heavy resistance and you continue that uptrend, that's a good confirmation that you might have a, you know, a high time frame reversal going on. Alright, so next up we will take a look at XMR, Monero, XMR versus BTC, right? So this is a setup I posted in, no, I didn't post this, it was actually Jay that posted this. I've adjusted it some because I've actually layered, I've increased my position with the market structure, right? So I bought, this was my first stop loss down here, right? So I bought in I think yeah, the bounce, yeah, so I laid some bids inside the area around 200 SMA on the daily. So I got filled on this wick, right, with 33% of my basically a third of my desired position. I then had this move, right? So I filled some more up on the bounce of the 21 EMA on the weekly. So this is now my, I think I had one buy here and one buy here. So this is now my average entry, and this is my new stop loss. So basically I want to have my stop loss below the 200 simple on the daily and below this swing low on the 4 hour. So what I'm looking for on XMR, basically I'm looking for a higher time frame move. Obviously risk very low, and stop loss I will move up as quickly as possible, because Bitcoin will most likely make a pretty volatile move with the weekly close coming up. So if we start seeing 4 hour open and closes above this area, I will move my stop loss up to this area. And if we get a 4 hour open close above here, I will move my stop to entry. So I will try to, as soon as possible, de-risk this position, because I basically don't want to lose anything if Bitcoin makes a crazy move, right? And the fact that I'm only like in a very small percentage in actual Bitcoin, I won't lose, you know, a crazy amount if Bitcoin starts moving. And I will obviously, you know, have a have a close eye on Bitcoin. If we actually dump, I will have to quickly get out of alts, hedge short, and sell my Bitcoin, right? So this is XMR. That's the item XMR. Waves. Well, we got a first fills on waves. I will most likely move my stop loss up, down, up below this wick here or this wick here, because I need to de-risk this position, because I think alts are becoming a little bit riskier now, and because we might get a powerful bounce or a powerful dump from Bitcoin, and when that happens, alts usually don't really react that well. At least that's my experience. So I will have to probably move my stop up on this one, and as soon as we have 4-hour open and closes here, clean ones without any wicks touching this one, I will move my stop into profit, probably in somewhere in that area, right? Alright, so that's waves. Now let's take a look at the engine coin, right? This was a beautiful trade. Lovely. So let me first quickly explain to you guys what happened here, right? So this trade is based on very simple support and resistance tactics, right? So what we saw down here is a low, a higher low, and a higher low, right? This is your potential break in the market structure. We then had this crazy move right here, and we came down, bounced off, this area, confluent with this support area here. So obviously important area. We then continued and broke this area here, the highs up here, which means we are looking at the daily, we started to see a clear uptrend, a clear bullish break in market structure, right? So what I wanted to do was basically ride the trend, because that's what you do as traders. What's the number one rule as a trader? The number one rule as a trader is you gotta trade with the trend, right? So that's the whole idea here. I wanted to buy this potential bounce, just like we had here, right? For pretty much the exact type of move, right? So this one was 20%, and this one was about, so almost 20%. So my take profits were very conservative, and I remember saying in the call description that they are very conservative, and I would take 25% at take profit 1, 50% at take profit 2, and leave the rest 25% for higher targets. And look at this. This is just beautiful. Let me see if I can actually find the chart that I posted, and I will show you the idea I had going, right? So this is the idea. This is posted on mobile, right? But as you can see here, I remember posting this in the SETUPS channel, and I said that we are very likely going to see a bounce down here or a straight up continuation like this. You should move your stop up here. Let's see what actually happened. This is the 1 hour. What happened on the 1 hour? Well, we had a beautiful move, right? Beautiful move. So we came up, we bounced here, and we are seeing continuation, almost like I predicted. So next move is we're getting this type of move. So next move is to reclaim the top of this resistance area, come down and retest it for even higher prices, and that's your potential. That's going to be your potential new setup, and that would look like something like this, right? I'm gonna post it in the SETUPS channels, obviously, when I find it, but I'm actually looking at something like this. Very nice move, right? So something like this, maybe down here, I don't know, something like that, right? And a move like this would probably have to be a daily open and close above the 0.236 Fibonacci retracement level, right? So I'm looking for a daily open and close above here, and then see a rounded retest without any wicks in between. All right, so that's ENG. Let's take a quick look at gold. So this was our idea from our last stream. And guys, if you have any questions or any short requests, just ask me in the Nest Club or in the YouTube channel. I will try to prioritize you guys in the Nest Club, obviously, because you are obviously the paying customers. And for those of you who are here and why is my camera not working? God, this happens all the time. Right, there we go. Should be good now. So if you guys are new and it's the first time you're watching these kind of streams, it's probably because most of the streams are private for Nest Club members. And if you are interested in this type of analysis and the type of setups I'm showing you now, you should go over and check our website, theburbnest.com, or check out our Discord server. We have a free section of the Discord server, and we also have a paid area, obviously, where we share all. We're 14 team members sharing our thoughts on the market on a regular basis. So if you like this type of stuff, go over to the Burb Nest and join the community. We are having a lot of interesting discussions on a daily basis and sharing our thoughts on the market, right? So gold versus the US dollar, because that's what you trade against, right? This was the type of move I was looking for on gold, right? I don't have a lot to update on this one. If we get a reaction here, we are most likely going to see a move down here, and that's what I would like to buy, because look at the higher time frames. We're obviously in a pretty strong downtrend, and with this whole weekly candle right here, it kind of looks like this, this most recent dump here, because of the world events, basically got bought up pretty quickly, and we are now seeing a move up towards this area, which is this monthly bearish order block right here. So whichever area we bounce off, this is going to be my target. So either a bounce down here for a first take profit here, and then second or third take profit up here, or we reclaim this area for a move up here. Stop loss, not sure, probably somewhere in this area, depending on how the lower time frames like the 4-hour look. But I mean, this is a about 5 hour, very good. This is a too big, I think, down here. So yeah, around 2 5-hour trade on gold. I mean, a 10% move on gold, very good, very good. We got some very volatile times going forward, so manage your risk, and if you are in the right positions, you will make a lot of money when this whole corona shit is over. Right, so let's take a look at silver. Good old silver. We've talked about this on the last stream. Reclaim range, reclaim this monthly order block EQ, this one right here, this bullish monthly order block, right? You can see how it price action in December 2018 reacted to that order block right here, and this crazy wick on the monthly and this month, right? So the weekly close above this area are awesome. Daily, we are seeing daily open and closes above the range EQ. The order block EQ. I'm looking for a move up to this monthly level around 16, right? So how would the trade look like? I don't know, man. I don't know. Something like this. 30% move. Good move. Very good move. Where would we have the stop loss? I don't know, man. Depends on price action. So this is tricky. This is tricky, right? You know what? I would probably wait for this range to resolve. We obviously have a range forming here. So I would probably wait for, this is a pretty obvious range, right? Let's see, where is it? Right there. Got the high up here. Got the low down here. Is this good? Let's see. Let's expand it to the right to see. So what I'm looking at when trading ranges, I'm looking for, the top of the impulsive move being this one, and then taking the low of this move, which basically is down here, but this is just too good to ignore. So yeah, am I liking this? I don't know. Is the range perfect? Maybe not. I don't know. This is yeah, this is good enough. We're getting the reactions around the range EQ. that I like. So yeah, good stuff. I would like to see, you know, this range break either to the upside or the downside. Yes, Mark B213. I will take a look at that one for you. Actually, let's do that one right away. I don't think I've shorted this one. Which is it? Do we have a better? No, this is probably the best one. All right, so let's take a look at the monthly. So I'm just gonna take a quick, because I'm hearing my son screaming in the background. So that's something's up, something's not very good. So I got to check that out shortly. This is a, let's look at the monthly. So I just want to have a good view of what's going on the monthly. This one, got that one. This order block right here, let's expand it. Where is the EQ? The EQ is right there, OBEQ. Let's expand that one. Perfect, now I want to see where do we have the other one. We have that one up here. Just to get an idea of what we're working with. I haven't shorted this in obviously a long time, so need to redo some stuff. All right, here we go. The OBEQ right here. All right, so there we have a couple of interesting levels, right? I'm obviously going to mark out this one where we are currently. Also notice this double bottom W formation on the monthly. We get a, you know, rare double bottom here, resistance, breaks resistance, retest and go. Textbook example on the monthly. Let's look at the weekly. We have this level marked out right here. Let's make that a zone. I need to mark out probably this level too on the weekly. So let's see, we got that area here on the weekly, this low here, and should use this wick to create a zone. All right, so Singapore dollar, like, it's a hedge against the euro. Yeah, I'm yeah. Well, it's not looking good. I mean, you are in a... Like, where would you want to buy? That's the question. Like, where would you want to buy at? Or are you, like, the reason for you to buy the Singapore dollar is that, do you have any, like, fundamental reasons to do it, or on the news events reason? Or do you think that this is basically a very strong support where you will see a bounce? Like, are you looking at the buy from a technical perspective or a fundamental perspective? Because on the weekly, the higher time frames, this is what I'm looking at right now on the weekly, right? So we got major resistance up here, major support down here. Looking at the daily, I mean, it's if this level fails, we are, I think, well, I mean, a move down here isn't unlikely, to be honest. So this is a pretty massive drop, right? And we had a good bounce down here, but I mean, this is on, we had a good bounce here, a move up, reclaimed this resistance, but a very quick sell down. So it's not looking too strong, to be honest. I'm not really. Yes, from a technical perspective, I can't really help you with the fundamental aspects because I try to only focus on the technical aspects of trading. So what I can help you with is definitely the technical aspect. And if we look at the daily here, we are now creating a lower low, right? And we are right inside or slightly below this support zone right here. So as long as we can't reclaim reclaim. As long as we can't reclaim this area, I think we have more downside. So right now, be careful, right? Be careful. But so that's what I'm saying, right? If you can hold this area, we most likely go down here, right? And so that's my idea from a technical perspective. So like, to be honest, if the fundamentals are good, and I understand your idea, I totally do, and it might be a good buy, right? And like if the situation continues in Europe like it does right now, I think it would be a lot of financial instability, and it makes sense. Just watch for bullish market structure is my tip before you actually enter. All right, so let's take a quick look at the Euro USD and the pound versus the USD before I have to quit the stream. So this is insane, right? This move is crazy. I remember entering this one on the reclaim of this. We have this daily order block here, right? So, well, yeah, that's what it is. So it did enter a long here on the reclaim of this order block right here. Stop loss was below that one, and my take profit were, I think, looks something like this, right? I think we had something like that, yeah. So we had a almost 2-hour trade on this one, pretty good, but it obviously continued like crazy, right? So I made a huge mistake on this one. I sold way too early. I could have doubled my profits on this one easily. So I sold way too early, right? And also something to notice here is how beautifully this broke above the 200 simple on the 4-hour and actually tested it perfectly. So that's definitely an area to remember on Euro USD. Watch the 4-hour 200 SMA, right? And on the daily, where do we have the 200 SMA on daily? So we are actually trading above the 200 SMA on daily right now, and this is a good indication of a trend, right? If you look at the history of this pair, generally above the 200 SMA is good, and generally above the 200 SMA on the daily, good. Below the 200 SMA on the daily, bad. So we are now reclaiming the 200 SMA on the daily. I'm a bit afraid, to be honest, to buy something like this because it's had a massive run. But we are in an uptrend. So when you are in an uptrend, you buy. If you are in a downtrend, you sell. So you get a trade with the trend, right? And right now we are seeing a potential good level on this one, the daily 200 SMA. Where is it? 92. Right there. So let's remove that one. I want to have some clean price action. We got this one right here. I'm liking this area, right? Something like that. So we can see it's, clearly a level to watch, right? Clear level to watch. So trade, how would a trade look like? Look at 4-hour. Where is the closest swing low on the 4-hour? I'm liking this one. I really do like that one. So the trade, how would it look? Something like this, right? Let's see. Stop somewhere in that area. Take profit. Well, first take profit needs to be at 2R, and that's going to be, let's say, this area, right? First trouble area up here. So yeah, I like that. This is definitely a trade I'm going to keep my eyes on. So that's Euro USD, right? Very simple setup. Reclaim last support, and long the first retest. Very simple, right? Obviously, this is a historically important area to watch. Let's look at the pound versus USD. And my last stream, I showed you guys this setup. It would have worked out perfectly. Look at this reclaim of the range order block EQ acting as resistance here. and support here. Buying the first retest of this area would have been a great trade. I need to take my own trades more often, because I actually didn't take this one. So lesson learned, right? If you see a good setup, you gotta take it, right? So next idea. Well, looking at the daily, we are at resistance right now, right? Let's see. Yeah, it's obviously a area like this, right? But nonetheless, resistance. So either we get reacted here for another move down into order block EQ. I would then look for exactly the same thing like we did here: a move down, a reclaim, and go, right? Either you buy the reclaim of this one, or you buy the retest of that area, right? And on the other hand, we might see continuation here, and you would then want to buy the first retest of this general area. I can't really do a setup on that now, because I want to see price action actually develop here before I actually make a trade. So I will update you guys in the Nest Club and the Nest Club chat and my own personal channel in the Discord with all my thoughts on these pairs from the stream. I will update you on hopefully a daily basis on everything I'm looking at. Alright guys, so thanks a lot for joining today's stream, and thank you for all the questions, and I wish you all the luck, Mark, on your Singapore dollar buy, and everyone else, remember. Yeah, I don't know what you're supposed to remember. I can't remember myself what I'm supposed to be saying, but remember to be patient. Look at the high time frames. Don't chase setups. Wait for the setup to present themselves, just like EURUSD. This is just such an obvious buy of the 4-hour SMA. This is an obvious buy of a retest of the order block EQ. Just wait for those obvious setups. If you wait for the perfect setup, you will make money. If you are okay with taking less than perfect setups, you will most likely lose a lot of money. So be patient, let the trade present itself before you take the trade. Don't chase any setups. Take care guys, and see you guys in the Nest Club. Have a wonderful Sunday. Take care everyone.